So here's what we're looking at. What if we could, all right, what if we could, once we figure out what those exact numbers are, what if there was a process whereby we could use some of that money that's sitting on the sideline? Now, maybe you can answer this for me. So, with those reserve funds, where do we keep those reserve funds for the most part? If I'm coming in and says, okay, hold my hand and teach me about real estate investing, where do we keep those reserve funds?
So we have that in in things we've done in the past. It's just it remains in a sub account
Mm-hmm.
and just earmarked
Mm-hmm.
for that particular purpose.
All right. And is that account, does it generally have,
No, no, no,
okay.
no.
So,
It's typically no. We've been evaluating like a stable value fund,
mhm, mhm.
that pays more. But currently, right now, what interest rates are looking at. So
Okay, exactly.
it would just, yeah, being like a very low interest bearing account.
All right. And so if we had some cash in that account, I'm just picking some numbers out of the air here. Let's say that you receive some instructions from our program and said, we've got $25,000. Take about $25,000 out of that sub account,
Hmm.
advance it to the mortgage, okay,
Okay.
as a prepayment.
Hmm.
If you did that, we would knock 7 months off the loan, and it would save us about 60 grand in interest using monies sitting in a sub account, making practically no money. Okay. And
Right.
so if we did that, then let's say we had designated of the monies that we are cash flowing, or the monies that are coming in as income, we would designate a certain amount of money that would go to that reserve account out of monies that were coming in. We would designate a percentage. Let's just say that we could put that money back in 5 months. Okay. So we take $25,000 out, and let's say we put it back in 5 months. It's about 5 grand a month, building back up that fund. We could probably do that again every 4 or 5 months. Put 25 to $30,000 down out of that sub account that's just sitting there waiting for something to go wrong, but is making practically no money. We could actually turn that sub account into a money maker, because every time we advance money, when I say advance, here's what I mean. This is money that was going to be paid in the first 5 years anyway. We were going to pay that $24,000. We were going to pay that $25,000. But if we could advance it to the loan, we don't have to pay the interest on the monthly payments to get it to 25,000. It would normally take 7 months to get there and about 60 grand in interest. But let's say we could advance that money to the mortgage and then just let everything catch up over 5 months. Boom. And then we could do it again and again. And by the time we get to the 5 year mark, all right, what we have done is increased our equity in the property, probably at 5 times the regular rate, by using cash that's sitting on the sideline. And we didn't have to touch any of the cash we're using to invest in other opportunities. So, without any more data, Daryl, I can tell you that you would come out a lot better with a system that does something like that. When it came time for your exit strategy,
Hmm.
now you have a lot more equity based on paying down the loan, and you don't have to rely on market conditions.
Okay.
Does that
Well,
make sense?
it does. And then what we can do, we can get you over the because we just went in contract yesterday. Like they
Hmm.
finally, because she denied the one, like the 850 down, and she carries a note at the 1.65
Hmm.
6% 5 year balloon amortized over 30. She basically, her and her attorney was like, we don't think you guys have enough experience.
Hmm.
And I laughed at that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're like, whatever. And she says, yeah, we just want you guys to buy it outright. So we got 90 days. Well, actually 89 days.
Hmm.
And so we've evaluated the people that we beat out. They want to buy it for 2.7. I don't want to do that. I basically want to improve the property, because that hotel is only, I mean, it's really kind of like a bed and breakfast. It's only open 4 days a week. So we're going to
Mm-hmm.
increase that to 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they haven't changed their prices on their menu in years. And, inflation goes up every year. So we just see some things that they're just not doing that would immediately increase the margins on that within that property. But no, we can send you that information, Uncle Don.
So yeah, listen, what we can do is once we have some of the numbers, I think what we want to take a look at is once we
Mhm.
plug everything in, and we'll take a look at what we could do over a 5-year term, and
Okay.
then see how much equity we would have, how much interest you actually paid to get it there, and how much interest you save to accrue that much equity. So we're going
All
to
right.
get the equity, we're going to get it at a much lower interest cost. And then if we know the amount of interest that we saved, then let's be intentional about this. Now I'm going to break this down on a level that people like me can understand, because when I see these numbers, my head start to spin. Okay. So here's what I'm talking about. Let's say you go out to dinner,
Mhm.
and then it's a nice restaurant and you and your significant other are there, and the bill comes to about $200, and then a friend comes over and says, you know what, Daryl, don't worry about it, I got your tab. You appreciate that dinner all the more because somebody else picked up the tab. It was something that you fully intended to do. And so it just makes you
Mhm.
feel better that happened. We appreciate the dinner, but you know what we don't appreciate, Daryl? We don't appreciate the $200 we didn't have to spend. We were going to invest that money in the dinner. We didn't have to invest it in the dinner. So what are we going to do with the $200 now? Are we going to find just another way to spend it? Or are we going to take that money and invest it and make more money with it? We got the asset for free. Now let's take that $200 and invest it. You see where we're going with this?
No, man, I understand the nuances of what you're saying. So I mean,
Yeah.
no, I get it. Totally get it. All for it.
Yeah.
So
But listen, we just,
that's what we got going, man. So definitely would love to. 'Cause I didn't know you did mortgages. So
yeah, yeah,
okay.
it's in the bio now.
I haven't read it in a while.
Business purpose loan broker.
Okay. All right. We're gonna get more than one term sheet, right? So
Yeah.
that's how we do that, and it's all good. We're gonna go with the best deal, right? So
All right. Listen, thank you so very much for your question, Daryl. I think that's been very helpful. And listen, folks, you don't have to have $2.1 million in the deal. This thing would work with $200,000. What we're talking about is it doesn't matter how much money we're borrowing. Whatever the amount, what you want to do is borrow it at a discount. And then once you figure out how much money you saved, then take that money and invest that money as well. I would love, love, love to be a part of this project.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.